Hi there. Did you know that there is over $50 billion worth of funding for any cause? But for our conversation, we're going to talk about for business. That's right, for small businesses, for large businesses, for enterprises, whatever you want to call it. Now, let's get into a few of these. I am continuing this series for you to help you with finding and maximizing that full potential for your business. And I know some of you want these businesses started. You don't have the funding. Well, we're going to get into it and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about first a few of fundings that I want to begin talking about, and then I'm going to break each one of these down in future videos. So if you're not following me, follow me. And then also, I see some of you have already gotten the resource guides that I mentioned in the last video. Go and get it. They're free. I'm glad that's what they're there for. Go ahead and get them. Learn some things about your credit, learn some things about your structuring your business plan so you can be able to get some of this funding. And they're going to require you to have a setup. And so this is what I want to give you the information for you to be able to do that. So today is Sunday. It is February the 15th. I hope you guys had a wonderful Valentine's Day. So if you're listening at this recording at a different day, same to you. Thank you for so much for being here. Now, some of the funding information of funding that's available for any business and mostly any sort of thing that you want to do. Remember, I said there's over $50 billion allocated to small businesses and all of these other brilliant ideas, nonprofit, for profits, the like. And 30%, 30% is unused. And so that means 30% of that money is unused. And so that's how we're going to help. We're going to use it. And so we're going to learn how to get ourselves in position to be able to be some of the ones that can use this money. Okay. And so, like I said, this is not something that's going to be a quick conversation, a quick video. In the future, this video today may be a little short because I have other things to do. There is not one cookie cutter way to this success pattern for you guys. You just have to know what's best for you. If you want to work with me in the future, that's an option. So we'll talk about that too as well. But I want you to just get in the mindset, change your mindset that, hey, I have to do something if I want to be able to get this funding, if I want to be able to get the help and the assistance I need for me getting some of this funding. However, you chose to, tackle it or however you choose to go after it. And so that's totally up to you and how you're going to do it. Okay, you have grants out there, you have loans out there, you have you have like wage credits, you have different programs, you have tax credits. So there's a lot of things. I mean, you say tax credits, yeah, there are economic development has a plethora of different, different agencies out there in your state that is, like I mentioned in the other video, that is worded differently, but the money is there for you. But you have to know how to qualify for it. Qualify qualify. Now, in this video, you may hear me repeat a couple of things a few times. I'm not trying to be facetious or sarcastic. I want you to have it etched in your mind and in I want you to have this etched in your brain that I got to pay attention to this stuff. I have to do it. And so this is what we're going to begin talking about. Okay. Now, I know that you you're used to doing things a certain way, right? But if you want to get to the funding that you're looking to get to in your business, you got to pay attention. You have to pay attention to something different. You got to do something different, and you definitely got to pay attention. Now, let's first thing I'm gonna tell you about the economic development incentives. And we'll talk about them in further on the next video. Now, these are searched through your state, and what they are is programs that your state have to assist you in creating jobs. And this is why they give you incentives for coming up with an idea. If you're developing something, you may have to hire people. May not once you start, but you want to treat it as you are going to grow amongst just being amongst yourself. And there are incentives because every state is working on growing their state. They want to grow their state. And that is funding that's going to be out there for you. You don't hear this, you may not hear this a whole lot on your social social media platforms like you should, because I mean, and you may, it all depends on your algorithm too, but they won't be in detail so much as so much depth that because a lot of people unless you're getting in and specifically researching and learning and studying the specific areas, you're not going to hear a whole lot of deep, you know, deep dive information or detailed information about it. You may hear surface information, but you won't get the meat and potatoes that you need to, need to have. And in that economic development incentive program, they have the economic zoning initiative. It's another name for it. I can't, it's on the top of my head. I can't think about it right now. But it helps you get funding because they have certain zones that are economic, underprivileged areas. If you're setting your business in those areas, that is an incentive for you to get funding. It's gonna allow you to get funding. And when you do that, there's certain paperwork that you have to fill out for that. And you can't just tell them, check the box off and go off into the sunset. There are due diligences that's behind it, and there are checks and balances, when you're dealing with the government, because this is a part of the government's initiative, program. These been around for a long time. Opportunity zone, that's what I meant, just left me this morning. Opportunity zone, you know in those credits, opportunity zones. And when you're developing a business in those particular areas, that is some SBA kind of, they give you're kind of graded differently for as getting approved for a loan, and that's graded differently, what I mean, to your benefit. And so you have to understand where these particular opportunities are. You'll be surprised that a lot of companies that come into your city and your state, and they build on, you may see somebody coming in building a, ooh, oh, it's raining. I love rain, y'all. But anyway, get back to what I was saying. I just thought it's gonna be a beautiful day. I love the rain. So anyway, um, so in your city, in your state, you're gonna have some great opportunities. And what I mean is, like I was saying, like when other companies and other enterprises come into your city and build, like they build apartments or what they build, whatever they build, and they just develop things, they are nine times out of ten, they're getting these credits from these programs to do business in your city, and they're getting a tax break. I mean, a tax break you wouldn't, your mind probably couldn't even imagine. It'll blow your mind of how much of a tax break they will be getting just to be able to operate that specific business. And I'm not saying that, you got to be this, all this big, you know, you got to just have $1 million proposition or idea for the city to do, and the county to do business with you. I'm not saying all of that. But we'll talk about the specific more. I just want to kind of tell you some of the things that's it's out here. And yes, and it's all is many ways to navigate through getting grants, and there's many ways to navigate through getting other funding. Now, and then there's other ways to like you hire somebody. Sometimes hiring like maybe ex-convicts or hiring certain things, certain, categorized of people, you would get tax breaks, and then also you would be the county, the city and the county or whatever, they would favor you in in whatever you're doing, they'll favor you. But like I said, there's a lot of paperwork with that too as well. Now, one other thing I want to say, and then I will have this, we'll have another video to kind of just go over more of this, some of this information is more specific. But what I want to tell you, I want you to know that there is nothing that you can't do. There is nothing that we can't have. We have to see it before we have it. We really do. We have to, you hear people say that, and I'm not trying to sound all woo-woo and all of that, but it's just the reality of it. The Bible says it, whatever you look to for your spiritual help, assistance, guidance, and lessons, your teachings, whatever you do, it's there to tell you. You have to want what you want, and you have to truly want what you want by doing what it takes to get what you want and to get there. So you can't just be thinking about it and not taking any action, not taking every day, not making a plan for it, not sitting down and writing things out, or after you take baby steps, then you take action to that, you take another baby step, action to that. This is what this is all about. And this is how people win. This is how anybody win, you know. Anyone, your pastor can tell you, you win by doing God's word. They win on Sunday morning when they're preparing for their sermons, when they're teaching their congregation and they're doing their research, and then they're praying before God and telling, and just saying, hey, let my people hear my word today. They had to do something to get the result of what they want. And yes, it's exhausting for them. I'm sure after they preach on Sunday morning. I'm saying this because we on Sunday morning. That's why I'm talking about the pastors in a good way. They're probably exhausted and they're tired, and then they gotta go and just replenish their body with the nourishments, the foods. Maybe the wives gonna cook for them. Probably already cooked the food on Saturday nights, and then Sunday when they come home from church, or either the church feed them. Well, however it goes, we all have to do that. We all have to. Now let's take this in what we're doing with business. We all have to. We got to get out here and do the hard work, and then we have to come back, and then we have to regroup, calm down, get our rest, and then we have to regroup again and do it again. And knowing that it's gonna take what they say, by a cinch, by inch is a cinch, but by the yard is hard. A mentor of mine told me that. I think I got it right. Yes. And that is so true. Those little sayings that I've heard along the way, I have a lot. I had someone tell me yesterday, Sandy, you need to write all those sayings in a book because some things I've heard from other people. My grandmother have said some, and they're all just true facts of life. They're all just, things that to motivate you in a different way, and sometimes in a personal way, to just get you all tuned up. But anyway, we're going to continue this conversation in a deeper dive and in another way on another day. Because like I said, I do have some other things I have to do this morning, and have church and come back and do some work in my office. And so y'all have a beautiful morning, okay? All right. And that's going to be it for today. Oh, no, it for right now. So if I drop a video later on today, y'all will see it. So anyway, I just wanted to give y'all that, but we're gonna start doing some more. And so you're gonna be, hopefully you'll be prepared to take some notes, notes. Okay. All right. Y'all have a beautiful morning. Okay. Bye-bye. And then some days I will go live. So I just to let you know, I'll be live on most of my platforms. But if you missed the live, please listen to the replay. All right. Bye-bye. Y'all have a beautiful day.